Garden tool storage makes a fantastic addition to any garage or shed. From shovels and forks to rakes, brooms and even brollies, store your tools and accessories with complete ease and have them ready at arm's length. The sturdy rack is designed to hold heavier, bulkier tools. The portable storage unit is constructed using repurposed driveway grids for a slot and store system, while caster wheels attached on the bottom mean you can easily move it around to suit your space. In this video, Gary, who's been a Wickes customer for over 30 years and is a keen carpenter, is going to show you how to make garden tool storage step by step. The materials for this project are all available from Wickes and will take a DIYer with moderate skill approximately 4 hours to build. Look out for this icon during the video for our DIY top tips. For this project, we've chosen shuttering ply and studwork timber, which are ideal and reliable for straightforward projects like the tool rack. Using your measuring tape, measure the length of the space in which you plan to install the rack. Lay your tools on your workbench and offer up a piece of timber to decide on the ideal length required, roughly marking the position of your tools with a pencil. It's worth using a tape measure if you want them to be evenly spaced, however bear in mind that some larger tools may require more room on the rack. Measure and mark the position of each tool slot on your timber, scribing a line with your combination square. Then, placing an offcut of timber on either side of the tool spaces, make marks along the outside edges to show where the timber hooks and pegs need to go to adjoin the back bar of the rack. Cross-hatch the markings where the timber joints will be located. Trace lines along the length of timber, then drill a pilot hole into each of the timber joint guides before sanding to remove rough edges. Clamp your back rail with your chop saw so that it's safe and secure, then cut to length, sanding the ends and pilot holes to remove any rough edges. Clamp a stop block in position using a scrap piece of timber at your desired length and line up a new piece of timber on the chop saw. Change the angle of your chop saw to 10 degrees and cut. With your timber still in place, change the angle of your chop saw back to 90 degrees and square off the end. Repeat this process until you have all of your pegs cut, giving them a quick sand to smooth the cut edges. Using your combination square and pencil, extend the marks on your back rail so that they carry on onto the bottom side. Apply mitre adhesive glue to the first peg outline on your back rail and mitre adhesive activator to the angled end of your first peg. Stick it in position using a combination square to make sure it's straight and flush at both ends. Then repeat this process until all of the pegs are glued into position. Carefully turn over the rack and use your drill to extend the pilot holes through the butt joint. Screw through each joint with a deck screw so the heads are sunken into the wood, then sand for a smooth surface. Turn your rack back over and drill a pilot hole at either end, inserting 2 screws by hand. Offer it up to the wall, then screw in place, checking it straight with a spirit level. If you're hanging large or heavy tools, add further screws for an extra secure fit. There you have it. Hang your heavy-duty gardening tools and save them from taking up valuable floor space or using up a corner of your shed, garage or workshop. Connect 2 of your driveway grids together and measure the longest edge. They should have a combined length of 1 metre. Lay the first 3 lengths of timber on your workbench, then mark the length of one of your driveway grids from one end of the timber. Scribe a line, then cut all 3 pieces to length, smoothing the ends by giving them a gentle sand. Studying your cutting list, repeat this process to cut all the 0.5 metre and 1 metre lengths. Secure your timber lengths with pilot hole butt joints, creating 3 identical timber frames which will house your grids. Take the longest tool that your storage unit will hold and hold it against the wall so that the top of it is touching the ceiling. Mark the height of the other end on the wall, then measure from the floor to the mark. This will be the tallest your frame can be, including the caster wheels. Place a sheet of general purpose OSB board on your workbench. Measure out your maximum height from the bottom and mark it in a couple of places, then scribe a line with an offcut. Measure the distance between the inside of the blade and the edge of the plate on your circular saw. Measure this distance from your cutting line, mark it and line up your offcut straight edge through the marks, securing with clamps. Cut your sheet along your cutting line, then sand the edges of your two end pieces. Then take one of your frames and lay it flat on your workbench. Lay your sheet on top and measure, mark and cut the bottom panel so that it matches the dimensions of the frame. Stand one of your frames on its side, then take one of your end panels and hold it in position. Fix the first panel to the frame by screwing it into place. Do the same at the other end, then measure and mark the halfway point on both of the end panels. Using a timber offcut to mark the width of the frame, bring in the second frame, move it into position and screw it into place. Screw the final frame into position, then secure the front and bottom panels. Mark a cross in each corner of the base with an offcut. Then use your 90-degree drill jig to make pilot holes into the frame. Insert the bit for your first caster wheel and hammer it into place, using a timber offcut between to avoid damaging the metal. Repeat this for all 4 casters. Begin fitting the driveway grids, starting with the middle rack first. Simply turn them upside down, lower them into place and connect the 2 grids in the middle. Drill pilot holes into the frame timber through the tabs of the driveway grids, then screw them into place. Repeat this process for the top rack. If you want, you can finish off your portable tool storage unit with a handle. Now you have the perfect storage solution when it comes to putting away those long, pesky tools that struggle to stand up on their own. Best of all, you can move it around with ease and position it wherever you want. For more inspiration and advice, subscribe to our social channels and visit Wickes online and in store.